All right. My microphone working. My life out. Good morning. Let me share my screen. Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? So if you are first timer, or if today is the first time of joining the stream and you have not subscribed to the channel, so kindly subscribe to the channel. If you have not if you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. If today is your first time of getting to know this channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel and give a like to the stream too as well. You click on the thumbs up, and give a like to the stream as well. So please, where are you listening from? Kindly type in where you are listening from. Kindly type in where you are listening from. Kindly type in where you are listening from, and you have not given a like to the stream, to kindly give a like to the stream as well. Where are you listening from? So you're having Eugene from Nigeria. Eugene, you're welcome. Where are you listening from? Type in. So you're having Monica from Kenya. We're having Eric from Kirikou. Where is Kereku? Kereku. Is it in Kenya? Okay, Kenya. All right. Kenya. We're having Christian from Nigeria. All right. So you don't have Ghanaians over here. You don't have my people over here. So you type in where you are listening from. Where are you listening from? So we having Kalu from Ghana. Yeah, Mr. Genius, how are you? From Ghana. All right, let's start. We having Esther from Accra. Okay. So you are all welcome to today's live stream. I hope you can hear me well. So if you can hear me well, kindly type in 1 in the chat box. Let me know. If you can hear me loud and clear, kindly type 1 in the chat box for us to start. Mr. Genius. Genius help. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, so you all can hear me. So we having someone from Jura. So Jura is coming from, he's listening from South Africa. Jura, you are welcome. Okay, so today is 13th of February. All right, so let's start. So today is 13th of February 2025. So let's check out the fundamentals. So as I've been saying, anytime if you are trading anything that is influenced by So let's say when it comes to trading with so you're having different types of financial markets. You get it? So we're having like the cryptocurrency market. Cryptocurrency market is what, a financial market. We're having the stock market. It is also what, a financial market. We're having the currency market. That is the forex. Forex is what? Forex is currencies, trading of currencies. So it is also what, financial market. You get it? It is also financial market. The currency market is what, also known as the forex market. So it is also financial market. And one thing you need to understand is, if you are trading any financial market, or if you are trading any asset class or any currency pair or anything, okay, when it is in the financial market, trading commodity, all those things are being influenced by, it's either influenced by a country. When it comes to currency, for instance, it is influenced by a country. So if the country is performing very well, the currency too is also going to be what, to be appreciating in value. If the currency is performing, if the country is doing very bad when it comes to their GDP, they are not performing very well, the currency too is also going to what, depreciate in value. So that's how it works. Okay, so when it comes to currencies, currencies are being influenced by a country. So anything that is going on in the country, if there is geopolitical events like maybe wars and those things, it is going to have direct impact on the currency too as well. So this is what you have to take note of, or this is what you have to understand. If you are trading anything and it is not backed by something, especially the reason why I'm saying that is what, you're having some people are trading some instrument like the synthetic market, and those things are not being influenced by anything. So mostly it becomes very difficult for you to what, for you to know, especially when that market operates, how the as in volume comes into those markets. It becomes very difficult. You get it? It becomes very difficult to trade such, it becomes very difficult for you to trade such markets. Okay, so you need to always bear in mind that anything that you are trading, when it comes to the financial market, there's something backing it. Okay, so when it comes to the crypto market, a crypto market is also backed by something. Okay, it is also backed by something. When it comes to the stock market, based on the kind of stock you are trading, it is backed by what, some companies. So the performance of some companies, so it's like buying shares in that company, buying shares in that company. So the performance of the company is going to what, affect the stock market too as well, the type of stock or the kind of stock that you are trading. So let's say maybe you are trading Facebook stock. So anything, the performance of Facebook, their returns, anything that is happening in what, in the confines of Facebook, it is also going to affect the currency as well. So you need to pay attention to those things. Okay, so when it comes to currencies, currencies are being influenced by the economic activities, the economic event that is happening in the country. So anytime that you are trading, you need to make sure you are checking the fundamentals before you proceed. You get it? You need to check the fundamentals before you proceed. So as I've been saying, the common website that when it comes to the forex market we used to check the fundamentals is what, forexfactory.com. So you check it out on forexfactory.com. It is going to give you the time that the news is going to be released. It is going to give you the date that the news is going to be released, and what, the various numbers too as well, so that you can use the numbers to what, do your analysis. So yesterday you guys can notice that when yesterday I did analysis and I posted it in the various platforms. So you guys noticed that it's played out very perfectly. Yesterday I talked about the weakness, the strength of the dollar. And you guys noticed that when the news was released, the CPI news was released, you noticed that dollar became very strong. So this is the news candle. So you can see gold USD fell. You can see it over here that gold USD what, fell. So it tells you what, the power of understanding how to interpret the news event. You get it? It tells you the power of what, understanding how to interpret the news event. So yesterday we talked about it, and what, so it played out perfectly. We talked about it and it played out perfectly. So let's see today's two. let's see today to what's going to happen. So let's check out the fundamentals and see what's happening for today. So when it comes to the fundamentals for today, on February 13th, so today is February 13th, so around 7 o'clock we are going to be having fundamentals on GDP. We are going to be having GDP news release and 7:30. So a lot of what news events around 7 o'clock. So we have like 17 minutes or so for the news to be released. So we're having around 7:32. We are going to be having CPI news. So when it happens like this, most of the times when you see something of this sort, this is what we mostly do. When we are having an upcoming news event, since you don't want to be, if you are already in a trade, if you're already in a trade, then that's fine. But if you are not in a trade, then this is what you are going to be doing. If you are not in a trade, then you have to wait for the news to be what, to be released before you what, you go into the trade. But if the news hasn't been released and you are still waiting or looking for an opportunity, the best way to go by is to wait for the news to be released before you enter. So since there was no news that has been released, since there was no setup for me to take it, or the news hasn't been released yet, this is what I will do. I will have to wait for the news. So for the news at 7 o'clock to be released before what, I will enter a trade. So what I will do for now is what, I will wait for the news to be released. You get it? I'll wait for the news to be released before I will go into a trade. So that's what I'll be doing. Coming. You get it? It tells you the power of what, understand how. Okay. So around 7 o'clock, we are going to be having GDP news event. So let's see the GDP, what's going to happen on the pound, and we see how it's going to play out. So what you have to first of all understand the meaning of what, the news event. You get it? You need to first of all understand the meaning of the news event. So when you talk about GDP, what does it mean? You have to first of all understand. So GDP simply means what? The goods and services produced in a country. Okay, the goods and services produced in the country. So mostly you have to understand, when it comes to GDP, is it like, as in, does it have impact, or does it affect the country positively, or does it affect the country negatively? Okay, so when it comes to GDP, if GDP is high in a country, that means what, the country is performing very well. If GDP is the numbers are very low, it means what, the country is also what, performing very badly. So if the country is performing very well, what is going to happen is what, the currency is going to appreciate in value. And if the country is performing very badly, the currency too is also going to what, depreciate in value as well. So this is what you have to, after getting to understand the meaning of the news events, you need to check it with the fundamentals. So checking the numbers. Okay, checking the numbers. If you check the previous and the forecasted numbers, so the previous numbers, looking at this one, the previous numbers was what, 0.1%. That is the numbers that was released. And looking at what, and looking at the forecasted numbers, the forecasted number was 0.1%. So comparing these two numbers, they kept the rate the same. Okay, they kept the rate the same. It didn't change. The previous numbers was 0.1, the forecasted number was 0.1. So making decisions on this one is going to be very tough because they kept the rate the same. So mostly when it happens like that, we are going to see it normally brings about indecision in the market. So the market can just be moving up and down very quick or rapidly. That's what mostly happens. So when they've kept the rate the same, making decision becomes very tough. So I don't have bias on this news event because they kept the rate the same. Okay, they kept the rate the same. So I don't have bias on this one. I don't have bias on this one. You get it? This news. And again, we are going to be having CPI to 730 on CHF, the Swiss francs. Okay, so yesterday I explained the meaning of CPI. So when it comes to CPI, it's like inflation data. So you have to understand that inflation, in a layman, maybe as a common man in a country, he believes inflation is very bad, because if goods and services are constantly increasing, a layman thinks it is very bad for the economy. But an investor or a trader sees it to be what good in the country or an economy. Okay, so mostly what is going to happen is what those in charge of the monitoring affairs of the country, what they are going to be doing is what they are going to maybe increase the interest rate. So we're having various ways. The government mostly doesn't come to individuals' house. It doesn't come to our homes to what pick money from. Oh, how much are you having in your what in your room? Bring it out. The government doesn't do it that way. What mostly the government does is what it just brings in some policies that is going to trigger you to either invest more. Okay, it's either going to how it's going to push you to invest more. Okay, so that's why some mostly they release bonds and those stuffs. So the bonds and those things, they release those things to take money from the citizens. Okay, they take money from the citizens. And if the government too also want to what bring out, or if the government want to release more money, they are going to also bring in some policies. Okay, they are going to bring in some policies for people to what to for people not to invest, to spend more. Okay, so that money will be in the system. So at this point, if the government want to inflation is high, and if the government wants to take money from the people, what it's going to do is what it's either going to increase interest rates. So interest rates affect loans. If you are taking loans and interest rate is very high, it's not going to entice you to what to take loans. You are rather going to what invest your money. You get it? You are not going to be taking loans. So the government is going to bring all these policies, or the central bank are going to bring these policies to what make people invest in such country, make people invest more other than spending. You get it? Make people invest more other than spending. So what's going to happen is what? Let's check out the numbers. Mostly the numbers is what we are going to use whether to determine whether inflation is high or inflation is very low. So comparing the previous numbers, inflation, it was 0.1%, negative 0.1%. This one too is so. It looks like this morning all the high impact news, they are keeping the rate the same, comparing it to last month. So yesterday I talked about the inflation on what the USD inflation. So if you watch this one, you notice that the inflation numbers was very high. So that's why the dollar was very strong, because when it happens like that, investors or what traders are going to be, they are very happy. Okay, investors are going to get good returns on what their investment. So that's why we notice, or you realize, that dollar was very strong. It was really really strong. So if you check all the pairs that all the pairs that mostly they pair it with the dollar, you notice that the dollar became very very strong. So look at gold USD, you notice that dollar was strong when the news was released. Looking at USD JPY, you notice that USD JPY or GBP USD, you notice that this was the new scandal. So you notice that what it fell. Looking at USD card, you notice that the USD card, this was the new scandal. You get it? So they were all rising. The dollar was rising. Okay, so mostly this is how we use to interpret the news. Okay, so it's very important. Even if you are not trading during the time of news release, you need to understand the fundamentals. Okay, you need to understand the fundamentals of the currency that you are trading surrounded. And one thing you need to understand is when it comes to the dollar, if you are trading, even if you are trading the minors that doesn't include the dollar, you need to understand that the dollar data release or the high impact release event release is going to affect the currency too as well. One thing you need to understand is what the dollar, when it comes to the US is a world superpower. Okay, US is the world superpower. So any decision, anything that is happening in the US is going to affect most of the countries in the world. Okay, it's going to affect their economies. most of the country in the world, any decision, anything that Trump is going to say is going to affect most, because most of the countries are relying on the US, okay, for their survival, or for most of the things that they do, they rely on US for their aid and other stuffs. So anything, most of the things that is happening when it comes to their finances, when it comes to the monitoring decisions and those things, it mostly affect those currencies, the countries or those currencies too as well. So you need to take note. Even if you are trading GBP JPY and there was what a news release on the pound, on the dollar, one thing you need to understand is what it is going to affect the currency. It's going to affect the currency pair that you are going to trade. The GBP JPY is going to, because even if it is not, mostly what happens is what it's not going to have an, like, as in a high impact on it or a major impact on it, but you are still going to see the effect. Okay, you are still going to be seeing the effect. So you need to take note. If there was a news release on the dollar, or especially when it comes to the lending session, for instance, and there was a news release on even the pound, the euro, any currency, okay, any currency that it's like mostly their active market session is during the lending session, you need to pay attention to their news events. So during the lending session, those currency pairs or those currencies that are open during the lending session is what the euro, the GBP, and the CHF. Mostly when the news is about to be released on those currencies or those countries, one thing you need to understand is what it is going to have a great impact on those currencies too as well. So you need to pay attention to them. So we are done with the fundamentals. So far during the lending session, so since we are focusing on the lending session, we need to pay attention to only the lending news. So when it comes to the New York 2 around 1:13 during the New York Open, we are going to be having some news events too as well. So we're having PPI and core PPI too. So this one is mostly, or it's like what, it's like what do you call it, it's also like an inflation data. Okay, it's also an inflation data. So you need to pay, and you're having unemployment claims too as well. So during the New York session, you're going to be having high impact news to be released. So let's pay attention to them. But for now, we are going to be concentrating or focusing on what the GDP. We have like few minutes for it to be released. So when it's released, then we start our analysis, and around 7:32 you are going to be having. So this one was an analysis I did during the Asian session, and it's worked out, especially on go to during the Asian session. It gave a nice 1 to 2 weeks reward on gold. So it also played well. So now we are going to be waiting for the pullback. So let's see, after the news has been released, we're having like 1 minute for the news to be released. So let's see how it's going to go. So after the news has been released, then we start our markups. Okay, so it has currently gotten to this weekly zone. So what's mostly is going to happen is what, so since there was no much data to make to decide on where the GDP or where the news is going to be going, it becomes very difficult. So what we are going to be doing is what, we are just going to be relaxed to wait for the news to be released before we make a decision. So the market has become very tough, especially at my side. So if you watch this H4 time frame, or let's say the daily time frame, you will notice that, so you will notice that the market, when we started this month, the market hasn't been trending very well. You can see it has been ranging. You get it? You can see it has been ranging. The same thing on, I think the only pair that has been trending on was USD CHF. GBP USD has been trending. It has been ranging. You can be seeing it over here, equal highs and equal lows. We haven't been seeing any trend on this currency pair. So it has become very difficult to find opportunity, especially for me that I'm a trend trader. It has become very difficult for me to find an opportunity on such currency pairs. So you can see it hasn't broken out. So at some point it tried to break out, and it just as in came into the zone again, tried to break out. So it is in the same area. Price hasn't broken out, price hasn't been able to break out. It is in the same area. You get it? It is in the same area. So it has become very difficult to get opportunities on, and especially when the opportunities to arises, it mostly happens during the Asian session. So that's the dynamics of the market. This market is very difficult and tough in a way that if you are not patient, you are always going to donate money to the brokers. Okay, so that's why it's always important you have something going on in your life, so that trading won't be your main source of income in case maybe the market is not presenting opportunities in a way that you trade. You are not going to be forcing things to happen. So the news has been released, okay, so that you are not going to be forcing things to happen. So for me, I'm relaxed, I'm not pressured, I'm still looking on a hand to search for opportunities. But still, since I've not seen something that I've traded before, because one thing I have to see something that I've traded before. Okay, if you're a trader and you can't refer your trades to something that you've taken before, you can't point it out, oh, I took this similar trade at this time, then I don't know, you are just gambling. Okay, you have to be able to point out a trade that you've taken, a similar trade that you've taken. So this week I think USDCHF gave an opportunity. But one thing about this week I'm very busy because of one or two things happening, going on. I've been getting visitors and other stuff moving out, so I've not been getting enough time to watch the chart. So I think there was a similar trade that happened, on USDCHF. The same thing happened. So this trade was the trade that I took last month. This was one of the trades that I took last month, if you watch this one carefully. So this trade, price broke out, made a nice retest. Price broke out and made a nice retest over here. So this is it. Okay, price broke out, made a nice retest. So if you watch USDCHF, you notice that it is the same thing. It is the same thing that happened. So if you look at USDCHF, so you have to be able to point out an opportunity that you've taken before, so your trades are not going to be random. Okay, so that your trades are not going to be something random. So the opportunity that I said it came, it presented itself. If you look at USDCHF, so this is the opportunity that I was talking about that happened this week, but I was in town. I wasn't watching the chart. So this is the same opportunity. So if you watch USD card, if you watch this one and if you watch this one, you will notice that it is the same trade setup that happened. You get it? It was the same trade setup. So I think this week, if I'm available I'm available more often, I would have taken this trade, but I wasn't around. And I think yesterday too, there was a trade opportunity. Was it Monday or so? There was a trade opportunity on GBP USD, but I was focusing much on the H4 time frame. But the trade happened for me around the. It's happened around the, what do you call it, the H1 time frame. Okay, so this trade opportunity, I would have taken this one and get 1 to 2 quick. So it's the same this trade too. Okay, if you watch this trade, so you have to be able to, if you are a trader, take trading seriously and know your patterns. Okay, just concentrate on yourself. Think of building the skill, think of getting the skill, other than getting signals from a lot of people are in different signal groups looking for opportunities, instead of you to focus on building the skill yourself. Okay, so if you watch this trade opportunity, if you watch these setups, I've been observant on the pattern. You will notice that it is the same pattern that happens on gold too as well. If you notice yesterday on gold, the same pattern happened. If you watch over here is the pattern. You will notice that it is the same trade pattern that happened on what GBP US. So the market has been repeating itself more often. So what you have to do is what, just pay attention and what, study your patterns, memorize your pattern, visualize your pattern. When it happens, you take it confidently. But a lot of people are not confident because they don't know their patterns. They just do things randomly. So it's better you pay attention to every single thing that is going on. So let's start the analysis. I think USD card is the one it looks like there was an opportunity. But since then, I've been analyzing this pair for the whole weekend. The way it has been happening, it happens when there was a news release. It is surrounded with a lot of a lot of data and mostly too. So this one too also played out during the lending session. So currently it looks like there was an opportunity, but this is a breakout opportunity, and if you are trading this breakout, the stop loss is going to be crazy. So the best thing, you have to wait for price to pull back if possible, then you take this trade. So let's move up and do the top down analysis and see what is going to happen. So looking at this market, hello brother, I'm a video editor, can I edit your video? So you can chat me, okay? Are you in Ghana? You can just DM me. I've been searching for a video editor, so chat me on WhatsApp, or I think my number is, so check the description. Okay, check the description and message me. If you are in Ghana, we can work together. All right, so looking at the USD card on the monthly time frame, on the monthly time frame, you have to first of all identify the various rejectional levels that price can what get rejected. I said DM me, check my description and chat me on WhatsApp or either on Instagram. So this is the monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame, this is the rejectional level. This is the rejectional level on the monthly time frame. So looking left, okay, so you have to first of all identify your rejection. So this is how mostly I analyze the market. So please, if you are new here, kindly take note of it. So this is how I analyze the market. So first of all, identify my various rejectional levels. So if price is coming down, so this is the point price broke out from the zone. So if price is retracing, it is going to retrace on this one, it is going to retrace on this one, because as price broke out from this one, there has not been what a rate test. Okay, so price is going to rate test, because when it was breaking out, it broke out from this area. Okay, so it's the same thing that is going to what rate test. It is coming back to rate test. There was going to be an reaction over here too as well. So there was a rejectional level over here at the monthly time frame. There was a rejectional level at this point. So looking at the weekly time frame at this point, looking at the weekly, so that was the only rejectional level, that's the only support and resistance levels that price is going to get reacted on. So looking at the weekly time frame, at the weekly time frame, there was what a rejectional level too as well over here. Okay, so looking at the weekly time frame, you notice that the weekly time frame trend is currently what? The weekly time frame trend is currently what? A downtrend. So price was making highs. Price was making highs. Okay, low, high. So at a certain point, price got rejected, and what? It changed trend to what? A downtrend. Okay, this point got broken and it's created high. So at this point, the price shifted to what? A downtrend. The moment it broke this one, it shifted to what? A downtrend. Okay, so at this point, price has made higher highs. So the rule for an uptrend to be shifted to a downtrend is what? It should create a high, come down, and what? Creates break the low. So it has made a higher high. Now it has broken this low over here. So now the trend has shifted to what? A downtrend at this point. So now the trend is what? A downtrend on the weekly time frame. And if I've plotted out what? Our various rejectional levels. So this is the rejectional level, this is the rejectional level. So anytime price is coming down, if price is coming down, it is going to come down to this side. Okay, we are going to see reaction. Price is going to react. Okay, this level is either going to what? Reject price from moving up, or it's either going to break out. So anytime you are in a buy, and price get to this side, what you have to do is what? Wait for price to what? Break out. If price break out from this zone, if you are in a trade, what you do is what? It's either, if you know or if you believe that price is having a long-term, you having long-term projection on price, what you can do is what? You wait for price to what? Break out. Okay, wait for price to break out, or you either break even. That's what I want to say. You either break even or you take profit anytime price get to this side. Okay, so this is the various reactional levels. Okay, this is the various. So if price is coming down, I'm expecting price to fall to this side at the weekly time frame. Let's look at the daily time frame. So daily time frame, we're having this pull back over here at the daily time frame. So moving to the zone, so these are the various rejectional levels. So if price is falling, if you look left, if price is falling and you look left, there's no support and resistance over here. So the only rejectional level is going to be at this point or at this point. You get, so price is going to fall freely to this side. It is only going to get distracted only on this point. You get it. So these are the various rejectional levels. Okay, so currently, if you are watching the daily time frame candle, let's scrutinize, let's examine the daily time frame candle and see what's going on over there. So if you look at the daily time frame candle, you notice that if you are analyzing this candle, you notice that this candle started with no wick, and you understand anytime a candle opens with no wick, what mostly happens is what it's either going to come back, create the wick, then it will continue. And you understand that if you when we are checking candle structures too, there's no the high, or let's say the low, hasn't been broken yet. Okay, so it looks like it has broken. Yeah, it has broken. Okay, so now candle trend is what, a downtrend. Okay, and now you're having this candle open with no wick, so it looks like there's contradiction over here, as in either price is going to come down over here. But when it comes to candle structures and those stuffs, we normally don't give it more attention, but it helps us to mostly enter the market when it comes to entries. Okay, but when it comes to the higher time frame, we mostly don't. It gives us, yeah, it's also an additional confluence. Okay, so it's another supplement, but we mostly don't pay much attention to that. So price has broken this one. Okay, candle structure, the daily time frame, open with no wick, so the chances that price will come back and give us the pullback. Okay, mostly if you watch the past candles, you will notice that the past candles all open with a wick, a top and upper wick, lower wick and upper wick, lower wick and upper wick. Okay, upper wick, lower wick, upper wick, lower wick. You can see it yourself. That's most of the candles open with upper. So anytime you see a candle with no wick and it is an ongoing candle, a candle which is in section, one thing that most of the times happens is what, it is going to move up and create the wick before it will start moving in the direction of the trend. So this is a higher time frame candle. One thing you need to understand, this is a higher time frame candle and it is daily time frame candle, and it takes time for it to happen. It takes time for all those things happen, unlike maybe H1 or M30 time frame that mostly happens very fast. So the chances that this one will just be overlooked and the wick is not going to be formed is very high. Okay, because they were looking at the momentum of the candle, looking at the size of the candle, the chances that it will not create that wick is very high. But we still have it in mind that the daily time frame candle has opened with no wick, so we still have it in mind. So in case maybe we see a rejectional zone, we will just pay attention that, oh, maybe price can then make the pullback and it will continue in the trend or in the direction of the market. So we still have it in mind. Okay, but not something that you are going to rely mostly on it. Okay, or majority you are going to be relying on it. So let's see. So the daily time frame, so looking at doing your time frame analysis. Okay, doing your time frame, trying to determine your bias, time frame analysis. So you have to know the time frame that you are going to focus on. If you are starting out, are you going to rely on the trend? You need to know the trend. So mostly this is how it goes. You need to know the trend that you are following. Are you following the H1 time frame trend? So let's say maybe if you are following the H1 time frame trend, okay, you have it in mind that the H1 time frame is what, in an uptrend. If you move to the M15 time frame, when it comes to an entry, sometimes H1 time frame can give you an entry. Okay, sometimes if you're focusing on if you are having the focus time frame, the H1 time frame can give you, okay, so I will check it on Instagram when I'm done. Okay, so the H1 time frame can give you an entry. Your focus time frame can give you an entry. You get it? It can give you an entry and you take it. But if the H1 time frame, that's your focus time frame, is not giving you an entry, this is what you will do. You go to the lower time frame, a time frame lower than the H1 time frame, maybe M30 time frame, okay, or maybe M50 time frame. So this is what I'm trying to talk about. So let's say maybe H1 time frame, that it's your focus time frame and it's in an uptrend. Maybe you've seen a good setup, there was no entry. This is what you do. And if you move to the M15 time frame, it is giving you a downtrend. Okay, this is what you do. You have to wait for a shift in trend so that it will be in line with your focus time frame or your directional bias time frame. So if it becomes if it moves in line with your focus or your directional time frame, then what you take a buy in what alliance with what, or in line with what the higher time frame, that's the H1 time frame. So you need to first of all know your focus time frame, know the time frame that you are going to follow, you are following the trend. So this, for me, for instance, this is what mostly I do. I focus on, when it comes to, for me, trading currencies. Okay, when I'm trading currencies, like maybe the current various currency pairs, I love focus making the daily and H4 direction to be in my favor. Okay, I love those time frames to be in my favor. So let's say maybe if they are all in the same direction, that is going to be my focus time frame. Okay, so taking USD card for instance, the weekly time frame analysis. Okay, so let's do time frame analysis. So the weekly time frame at this point is what? A downtrend. So let's say it's down. Moving to the daily time frame, the daily time frame trend. So you need to what? Understand how to read price. Okay, if this is a major, this is an important thing in your in this is an important topic that every trader, if you are starting out in trading, everyone needs to learn this thing, how to read the market. It is an important topic everyone needs to pay attention. If you don't know how to read the market, and markets, if you don't understand market structure, you need to what? Work on it to understand market structure. So price, how to read it? Price was making, this point price was in a downtrend, was making lower highs and lower highs. Okay, so when it broke this one, it became higher high, came down, and what? It became lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So this is how mostly we read, this is how we read the market. Okay, so you need to understand how to read the market. So as I've been giving an example, like if you are in a country where you don't understand their language, it becomes very difficult for you to what? Communicate. So it's the same thing in trading. Reading the market is a language. Okay, so sometimes a layman or someone who is naive, someone who doesn't know and understand anything, when he sees the candles, the person will just be like, be how is this, how are these people how do these people even read the market? Like the person will be confused. Okay, the person is going to be confused on how we mostly read the market. So it's the same thing if you are professional, or if you have been in this game for long, you see it to be very simple. Okay, I remember the first time I was introduced to this thing, when I saw the candles, I was, hey, so this thing, will I be able to understand? How do these people read it? So as time goes on, as I got deep into this thing, I think things has now become very simple and easy for me. Okay, so that's how it mostly works. So if you know how to read price, so I say I've always been saying this thing, I can predict the market like 99%. Okay, but mostly where price, the entry is the most difficult part. I can predict the market on where price is going to, at long term you will notice that price is moving in the same direction. But when it comes to entries, that is the most difficult part. So the daily time frame too is also what? A downtrend. So moving to the H4 time frame, okay, so time frame analysis. Moving to the H4 time frame, you notice that the trend at certain point, price was kind of consolidating. Price was making equal highs, equal lows. Okay, price was kind of consolidating. It's in the same area. Price hasn't broken out. So if you use trend line, you see something like a wedge. Price was in the same area. Okay, something like a wedge. Price has been in the same area for a very long time. So finally price broke out. So yesterday I think I did a chart trade idea. When price was at this point, I said I was expecting a pullback. Okay, I think it was this one. I was expecting a pullback, and the pullback happened, but it happened during when there was a news to be released. Okay, it happened when there was a news to be released, so it was kind of difficult to get an entry. So price has done the same thing again. So you will notice that the same structure that happened over here, price broke out, made a pullback, is the same thing that is happening over here. Price has broken out. It's kindly what it's made a pullback over here too as well. And what happened? Price has also continued. So it's the same. This move over here, happen this. So price is just going to be, it's the same thing. It's either going to, if it breaks out, it's going to pull back and continue. It breaks out. So this is how the market moves in waves. So it moves up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So if you shift structure, it's going to move down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down. So if you shift structure again, it's going to move up. So basically this is how the market moves. Okay, basically this. So you can see the same thing over. If it breaks, it pulls back, continue, breaks, pull back, continue, breaks, pull back, continue. It's the same thing that happens majority of the time. Okay, so at this point, if you come to, so the trend is what, a downtrend to at this point. So when you read the market and you see something of this sort, all the time frames, the higher time frame for me, so someone side, so this one varies based on the individual trader, based on your experience level. Someone might see this one, someone might see 30 minutes as his or a higher time frame based on the trader. So for me, for instance, this is my higher time frame. This is the time frame that I normally rely on the trend to make my decision. Okay, so especially the weekly, daily, H4, this is my higher time frame. So the moment I notice that all these time frames are in the same direction, okay, they are in the same direction, what I would do is what, go for a sell. So when you see something of this sort, never go for a buy. Okay, the buy, if you get a buy, it's not going to last. It's just going to be very short and it's going to pull back. So that's why majority of you people just get stopped out and when you enter a trade, because you don't follow the higher time frame trend. If you follow the higher time frame trend, you notice that you are not going to be stopped out more often, because mostly price, the market follows the trend of this one. Okay, so at this point the market is in what, a downtrend. Okay, so what I'm going to be looking for is to look for a sell. Okay, so my bias is going to be a sell. Okay, so now let's try and plot out the various reactional levels. So price is currently at this point. So as I said, we have it in mind that the daily time frame opened with no wick. Okay, the daily time frame open with no wick. So the chances that price will pull back and create, so where is the daily time frame candle? The chances that price will come down. So let's see, it looks like there was, so the chances that price will come down and create that wick is very high. Okay, it's very high. So when it comes to the H4 time frame, so this is the wick, the point or the area expecting the wick to be what, price to pull back to create that wick. So we are going to be having news around 7:30 on USD, on CHF. Okay, so let's see if it's going to have impact. So at this point price has broken out, and if you read the market, if you watch your left, you will notice that there was a rejectional level to over here. So price has broken out from this zone. Okay, so this is a breakout. So when it comes to breakout, this point, it will, if you are taking a sell in the with the intention that price is going to what, come to this side, you have in the range of 25 pips with the intention that price is going to come to this side, you need to always, so especially this is what I've noticed about newbies, those who just came into trading. One thing I've noticed about them is what, they don't check, they don't give a I don't want to say a word that maybe they don't normally give a this thing about, they don't give an S about whether, they don't check their risks. They don't check their risks. And if you are a trader and you don't check, if you are executing a trade, the first thing you need to ask yourself is what, how much are you losing when it comes to the trade? How much you need to first of all pull up your what, your risk to reward tool and check how, when it comes to your monitoring time, the monitoring amount you are risking, how much are you risking? When it comes to the percentage, what percentage are you risking? You have to be intentional with your risks. A lot of people just input, buy and sell. They don't check, they don't give a fuck about their risks. They don't give anything about their risks. They just enter. One thing you need to understand is what, if you are having that thing in mind, you are just going to be what, you are going to go back to the village very quick if you don't check your risk. So the first thing you need to do is what, so as I'm saying, this is a breakout entry and the chances that price will continue moving down is very high. Okay, but if you see something of this sort and you want to take a sell, ask yourself how much, when it comes to your pip, where will be your logical place you can place your stop loss. Okay, this is the candle, and if you are placing your stop loss, it's either you use candle or you use what, you use structure levels. And the most important thing, the best way is to use structure levels. Okay, so when it comes to the next, where is the next structure? Even if you are using H1 structure, there was no structure over here. The next structure level that this trend is going to be invalidated is at this point. This is the point that structure is going to be invalidated to what? A downtrend. Okay, so this is the next structure level, unless you put your stop loss at this point. And if you move to the H4 time frame, when you are using the candle, so mostly if the structure is very wide, I use candle. So if I normally rely on the higher time frame candle. So if you are using H4 candle as your next structure level, this is the point that is going to, you are going to place your stop loss. So comparing your risk to reward, okay, you have to always, trading is very difficult. It's very hard for you to get a trade. It's very hard to get a winning trade. Okay, it's not easy. Winning trades doesn't come easily, as you people see it. So when you get a trade, and if the market moves in your favor, the best way is to what? Don't cut your don't cut your profit short. Okay, make sure you are maximizing the best out of the trade. Make sure you are getting the best out of it. Don't cut your profit. Okay, and if the next trade happens to be a loss, then you are what? You are back to zero. That shouldn't be the case. Always make sure you are risking a minimum, you are risking a minimum amount, and what? You are getting a very high returns on what? The trade that you are taking. So pulling up your risk reward tool, this is the point you are going to, this is your stop loss, or even if you are using the candle and looking at your take profit. So this trade is not something, it's not even up to, it is negative risk to reward, in the sense that you are risking a very big amount. Okay, or your pip range is very big, comparing it to what? Your reward. It's not even up to 1 to 1. So this is what? Negative risk reward. So I would not love to go in for this trade, even though like the good range and everything, but I would not love to go in for this trade. I would love price to either, so these are the various key levels, or these are the various rejectional level. Either price will pull back on this one. Okay, either price will pull back on this one, or either price will pull back on this one, then I'll go in. So if I see a pullback, then it will create a new what? Structure level. Then I can place my stop loss over here. Okay, which is going to give me a good risk to reward, okay. So you see, the risk reward is going to be good. But if price just pull back, as I'm taking a sell, placing my stop loss over here, that is what? A very big risk reward. Okay, as in, sorry, you are going to risk a very big amount as compared to the amount or the returns you are going to get from the market. So I'll not love to, so you have to be patient. Don't be rushing because you want to get a trade to feel that you are in a trade. That's not how to go. Always calculate your risks. If it doesn't make sense, allow the trade to move. Don't rush the trade. Okay, if the risk reward is not looking good, allow the trade to go. Okay, allow the trade to go. So that's it for USD card. So, or I will allow price to come to this side, then I'll take this trade. So these are the various points. Or price is either going to come to this side, okay, it's either going to come to this side. So if price break this one, this is the point that price has invalidated towards an uptrend, then I'll be looking in for what? A buy entry. Okay, so price has room to retrace up to this point. Price is having a room to retrace up to this point to what? Still validate the downtrend. But the moment it will break out from this zone, it will break out from this level, the trend shift towards an uptrend. Okay, so this is currently pulling back. We call it counter. This is like a counter move. It is against the main move, so just making a pullback. Okay, so the best way I would say is what? Just wait for price to just make a pullback to either on this level or on this level. Okay, so if you make a pullback, give you an entry, then we go in for a sell. At this point, I will not love to take any trade on what? USD card, unless it has pulled back. So the H1 time frame has made a pullback. Okay, but if you look at the structure, this one has just been what? This one has just been broken. So now the structure is what? Candle structure is an uptrend. Okay, so you have to wait for a pullback, a proper pullback, then you go in for a sell. That's what I'll go in for today. So we have like 7:32. You are going to be having news events on CHF CPI. It's an inflation data, so it's going to have major impact on USD CHF. So let's see how it's going to play out. It's going to have a major impact on, so you have like few seconds. I wasn't able to analyze the news because they kept the rate the same. Okay, I didn't keep track of what happened last month. So let's see what's going to happen. Since they kept the rate the same, mostly it's going to be something like this. Okay, up and down, but let's see. I can't just conclude on what is going to happen. So like, you have like few seconds, like 25 seconds for the news to be released. So it's going to be very impactful because this is what CPI. So those who gambling on news, you can just set your buy stop and sell stop. Then if it gets triggered, because this is a major impact news, and we are going to see big candles. CPI, we are going to see big candles. So 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Boom. So you see, so this is the news candle. I hope you've seen it yourself. Okay, so I wasn't able to analyze because they kept the rate the same. So since USD CHF is falling, so that means what? They I think they hike the rate. Okay, so the CHF is very strong, so I think they hike the rate. So if they hike, so let's refresh the data and see what happened. If they hike the rate, so since it is falling, that means they hike the rate. Okay, so they kept the rate the same. It's the same. So that means this one was correct. The forecasted numbers was correct. So this one we just pull back since they kept. Mostly that's what happens. So let's see. So the news, all the news for the lending session has been now be released. Okay, it has now. They have all been released. So let's analyze gold. Let's analyze gold and see. So gold during the Asian session gave a nice trade opportunity. Price just broke out from the zone. The H1 made a nice pullback. Okay, so I was not asleep. So as I analyzed, I noticed it gave a nice risk reward of 1 to 2. Risk reward on gold. There was a nice 1 to 2 risk reward. Yeah, a nice 1 to 2 risk reward on gold during the Asian session. Yeah, so let's see what's up next, what you are expecting it to happen again. So when it comes to gold, mostly I focus on the H4 and the H1 as my directional bias and move to the lower time frame because it's very volatile. So you need to know the asset class that you are analyzing. Okay, so you need to know how volatile the asset class is. So especially if you are trading the indices or the index, you have to understand that it moves very fast because of the liquidity in those asset classes, especially on gold. A lot of people are trading gold, so gold moves very fast. People are buying, people are selling gold, people are buying, people are selling gold. So it moves very fast as compared to the currencies are very slow, especially the major ones are okay, but when it comes to the minors or the crossing, it's very slow. So let's see what's happening, what will be happening, or what you are going to be expecting on gold. So moving to the monthly time frame on gold. So the monthly time frame, so if you have any question, you can just drop it in the chat box and it will get answered. So if you move to the monthly time frame on gold, you notice that there was a rejectional level 2 over here at this point. There was a rejectional level over here. So moving to the weekly time frame. So with the weekly time frame, you're expecting price to pull back on this one, and what it will continue. So at this point, the weekly time frame is what? An uptrend. The weekly time frame on gold is what? An uptrend. So moving to the daily time frame. So the daily time frame, I think there was no data looking left. If you watch your left, there was no data looking left. Okay, so these are the various rejectional levels. So this is the daily time frame rejectional level. So if price breakout, you're expecting a pullback to these levels. We're expecting a pullback to these levels. So looking at the H4 time frame, so price has currently broken out from the zone at the H4 time frame. Price has currently broken out. So the trend, if you look at the weekly time frame, the trend is what? An uptrend. Looking at the daily time frame, the trend is also an uptrend. Looking at the H4 time frame, the trend is also what? An uptrend. So when you see something of this sort, you don't have to go for sell. In my own view, you have to go in for look for a buy. So I will be waiting for price to pull back on this one, then I will go in for a buy. So at the H4 time frame, price has currently broken out from the trend, this key level. So this is the point the trend shifted to what? An uptrend. So looking at the H4 time frame, or looking at the H1 time frame, what I'll be expecting is what I'll be expecting price to pull back. Okay, so you need to understand the time frame you are relying on. If you are relying on the 30-minute time frame, if you are relying on the 15, how strong is those time frame? And if you are depending on those levels, those time frame levels, how strong is those time frame levels? Okay, so you need to understand. So you see some I think we have some people, the SMC and those traders, they have some levels, they call it maybe liquidity grab levels, and those they have levels. So as maybe if you are trading, you need to understand which level, when price go to get to those levels, it is going to respect those levels. So if you are relying on the H1 levels, ask yourself, is those levels very strong? If you are relying on the 30 minutes, are those levels very strong? So you need to know the levels that you are going to focus on. So this is the daily time frame level. Okay, this is the daily time frame level. So anytime price will get to those levels, I'm expecting price to pull back. So I'm going to be waiting or looking for the pullback on the H1 time frame, similar to what happened over here when price broke out the H1 pullback and price continued. So at this point, I'll be waiting for the pullback, because 30 minutes is not that stronger time frame for me. It's not that time. It's not all that stronger time frame for me. Okay, it's not all that strong time frame for me. So I'll be expecting price to what, to pull back on this level. I'll be expecting price to pull back on this level, then trend will what, continue up. This is what I would love to what I will expect in the market. Okay, this is what I'll be expecting in the market. So at the H1 time frame, I'm expecting the H1 time frames to just pull back on this key level. If you move to the H4 time frame, the H4 time frame has just created a support tool as well. So I'll be expecting price to pull back. So this level becomes very strong zone over here. So I'm expecting price to pull back inside those zones. Okay, I'm expecting price to pull back inside this zone. Then I will look for a buy opportunity. So this is the zone that I would love to what, buy within, but not on the 30 minutes pullback like this one. These levels, 30 minutes, those levels are not all that stronger time frame for me. So this is the level I would love to what, take a buy. So if gold comes to this level, then I'll be looking for a buy, because all the time frame is what, an uptrend. Okay, then I'll be looking for a buy on gold. So a similar thing like this one, the H1 pullback created this support and price continue. It's the same thing that I'll be expecting on this one. So if it pulls back on this one, I'll look for entry on M15, M30 to take a buy. But at this point, price is currently in the middle of a range. I can't take a buy whilst price is still high. You need to ask yourself, if you are taking a buy over here, since you're having zone over, like price is going to fill this zone, you have to ask yourself, what will be your risks? Okay, how much are you risking? Is this something that worth it? Because you have to check, is this something that comparing it to your reward? Because if you are taking a trade over here, if you are taking a buy over here, your stop loss is going to be below this level. Okay, your stop loss is going to be below this level. So let's pull out our risk reward, and you will notice that the risk reward is going to be very big. Like your reward is going to be very small. You get, so 1-to-1. Okay, if you are taking it in the middle of the range, it's like 1-to-1. I would love price to be get discounted before I will take a buy. Okay, I would love price to get discounted. When price is very high, I will not rush to take a trade. I would love price to pull back, get discounted price, then I'll take a buy. That's what I would love to. Currently, price is in the middle of the range. I will not put myself in such position, because if price is pulling back, it is going to pull back very deep, and you are going to be in what, a deep drawdown. So I would not love to take a buy over here. I would love price to pull back, either H1 to retest on this one, create that support that I want. Okay, so something similar like this, price pulling back on this one, price pulling back on this one, price pulling back on this one. Okay, so this one will be a bearish candle. If price pulls back on this one, give me that support, give me that support. Okay, if I see that support over here, then I'll go in for a buy. Okay, so if you pull it up, so this is what I'm expecting it to happen. So if it pulls back over here, then I'll go in for a buy. So this is what I would love to. Then I would love to go in for a buy. So similar thing like this. This is what I would love to execute on. Okay, this is what I would love to execute on. So if price gives me that support, I will find an entry and will take a buy. So it's currently pulling back, so I would love price to pull back on this one. So something like this, if it pulls back, create the support, okay, then I will go in for a buy on gold. At this point, so you see the 30-minute time frame zone, those levels can easily get broken by price. So I mostly don't rely on those time frames zones. I mostly don't rely. So it's currently pulling back. So if you want to follow the trend, then you just have to be patient, wait for price to pull back on this one, then we go in forward a buy. So that's it for USD. That's it for USD CHF. So USD card is currently pulling back. So USD CHF, looking at USD CHF, let's see the trend and the opportunities that the market is giving. So looking at the monthly time frame on USD CHF, the monthly time frame on USD CHF, there was this rejectional level over here. There was this rejectional level over here at the monthly time frame. Looking at the weekly time frame too as well. So with the weekly time frame, there was this rejectional level over here at the weekly time frame. Okay, at the weekly time frame. So price has created this support over here. There was this support over here. Looking at the daily time frame, so the daily time frame is currently an uptrend. Okay, if you change it to a line chart, you see it very well that it is an uptrend. This is the point that as price broke out from this side, it shifted trend towards an uptrend. So at this point, price is an uptrend. So it is the daily time frame is kind of pulling back on this level on the weekly zone. If you move to the H4 time frame, so with the daily time frame, there was this rejectional level over here. As price broke out from this side, you get as price broke out from this side, you've not gotten any rejectional level over here. So price is currently getting rejected over here. But since the candle hasn't closed yet, it is still valid to be what? It is still valid. So moving to the H4 time frame, the H4 time frame is what? The H4 time frame is still what? An uptrend. So currently the candle hasn't closed yet. Okay, it becomes a downtrend if the candle has closed, but at this point the candle hasn't closed yet, so it is still what? A downtrend at this point. So price is currently getting rejected. It might get rejected by these strong levels. So I'll be expecting a pullback over here, then the trend will continue down. Okay, the trend will continue down. So what I'll be expecting on USD CHF is what? For this candle to just create a support over here, to just wake up over here. Okay, just wake up over here, do something like this. This is what I will expect a trader will expect to take. If price just pull back over here, creates that one, then I will take a buy. So I'm interested in taking a buy, not a sell. On USD CHF, I'm interested in taking a buy, not a sell. Okay, for today I'm interested in taking a buy. So if price break out from this one, that's when I'll go in for a buy. So I'm not interested in this sell because the daily time frame is an uptrend. Looking at the H4, the weekly time frame too is also an uptrend. So H4 time frame trend hasn't shifted yet because this candle can just make a wick and just move up. So I'm not interested in taking a buy on this one. I'm not interested in taking a buy. I'm not interested in taking a sell on this one. I'm rather interested in taking a buy. So I'm expecting price to just pull back. Okay, it can happen, it can just close below this one. If it's closed below this one, that's fine. But I would love for price to just break out, close around this side, then I will take a buy. That's what I would love to see in the market. Okay, for USD CHF. So I think USD card will be the trade that it will be interesting to look for. Okay, I think so. So maybe if price is just ranging, so let's see what's going to happen. It is just ranging, so let's see what's going to happen. So if you just break out close below this one, then the breakout entry will be good for us to go in for. Okay, for us to take the trade. So let's see GBP USD2 as well. Let's see GBP USD, what I'm expecting on GBP USD. So I think currency trading has become very, very hard. Price is not giving, it's not trending like that, so it has become very hard. So looking at GBP USD, looking at the monthly time frame, this is a rejectional level over here. There was a rejectional level at this point. So as price has broken out, we're expecting a rate test. So this one has broken, this one has broken. So if price has broken out of this one, I'm expecting a pullback over here, then price will continue. This is what on the monthly time frame. And on the monthly time frame, things takes time for it to happen. The turning point mostly or usually takes time for it to happen. You get it? So this is what you have to note about. It usually takes a lot of time for it to happen. So looking at the weekly time frame, on the weekly time frame, price is currently what? On the weekly time frame, price is currently a downtrend as well. So this is a complex structure. Okay, price just made low, lower high, low. So this is a complex structure. So the trend is still what? An uptrend. So I'm expecting a pullback over here. I'm expecting a pullback. This is on the weekly time frame. So moving to the daily time frame. So there was a turning point on the weekly time frame over here. If you change it to a line chart, you can see the turning point very well. So there was a turning point at this point. So looking at the daily time frame. So the daily time frame trend is currently what? The daily time frame trend is currently a downtrend. If you change it to a line chart, you see because of the wicks, because of the gaps, so you are not seeing it very well. So if you change it to a line chart, you will notice that the daily time frame trend is what? Currently a downtrend. So if the candle, this ongoing candle, breaks above this one, that is when the trend is going to shift to what? An uptrend. But currently, since it hasn't closed, it is still what? It is still a downtrend. Okay, it is still a downtrend. So looking at the H4 time frame, its price is currently approaching zones. Price is currently approaching zones. Okay, price is currently approaching zones. So it's become very difficult. It has become very difficult for you to get a zone to trade within. So price is currently approaching these various zones. Okay, so what I would do is to just wait for, so you see, as price broke out from this one, there was a pullback and price continues. So the same thing I'm expecting, as price is currently hitting these strong zones, I'm expecting a pullback on this level or on this level. So I'm expecting price to pull back on this one, then the trend will continue. Okay, but at this point, price is just moving. Price has just broken out from a zone. Price has just broken out from a zone. So I'm expecting a pullback, then I'll take the continuation of the trend. Okay, then I'll take the continuation. But currently, price is just consolidating. Price is currently on what? A stronger zone. So I will not love to take any trade on this one. Okay, I will not love to take any trade on GBP USD at this point. It's currently hitting the zone. So I think the trade that's gold, let me check out on gold. Yeah, so I think gold will be something that it can print good candle for us to. So we're having 9 zones over here. So when it comes to the H1 time frame, there was a rejectional level at this point. So there was a rejectional level at this point. So I'm expecting a breakout. If it breaks out over here, then it makes a pullback. There can be an entry on that, on gold. Okay, so let's see GBP JPY. So GBP JPY. So with GBP JPY, there was a rejectional level over here. Okay, there was a rejectional level at this point. There was a rejectional level too at this point. There was a rejectional level at this point. There was a rejectional level too at this point. So that was it for the monthly time frame. So looking at the weekly time frame, these are the various rejectional level. So looking at the daily time frame, with the daily time frame is currently what? It's a downtrend. So unless this candle breaks above this one before the trend will shift to what? An uptrend. So currently it is what? An uptrend, a downtrend at the daily time frame. So these are the various rejectional levels. So if price at a certain point price was an uptrend, it just made high. Okay, so when it's made lower lows, higher lows and higher high, it's made higher lows, it's made higher lows and high. Okay, higher lows and higher lows. So at this point price made lower low. So currently we are expecting a higher high over here. I want price to make higher high, then it will pull back. I want price to make higher high. So price just made this one. Price has just made broken out, trying to break out from the support. Okay, so the daily time frame is a downtrend. H4 time frame, currently H4 time frame is also what? H4 time frame is also H4 time frame is an uptrend. Okay, H4 time frame is an uptrend. So I'm waiting for a pullback. Price is currently getting close to rejectional level. So I'm waiting for a pullback, price to pull back over here, price to pull back over here on these levels. Then I will take the continuation of the trend. So this is something I'm expecting it to happen. I'm expecting a pullback over here. Then the trend will continue. Okay, and the trend will continue. So at this point price is high. So anytime price is high, don't force the trend. Don't force yourself to just enter in the middle of the range. If you see price is just moving like this, okay, based on the time frame you are focusing on, just relax. Price is going to pull back for you, giving you a discounted price, a price that it is affordable. If you are buying price that is very cheap, okay, then you take the continuation. Okay, but if price is just heading up and you take the buy, I think it is going to affect your stop loss, your risk reward. At this point price is at what? At 8 peak. Price has gotten to a rejectional level. So don't buy when price is on the resistance, and don't sell when price is on support. Wait for price to either break out, pull back, then you take the continuation. Okay, so if price is at this point, you see price is struggling to what? Break. If you move to the lower time frame, you notice that price is currently struggling to break at this point. So you see this one, for instance, price broke out, made a pullback, and it continued. So anytime price gets to this one, don't rush to take a buy over here. Wait for price to what? Wait for price to break out, pull back, then you take the continuation of the trend. I think that is the best way to go by. Okay, that is the best way to go by. Don't rush to take a buy when price is currently on support. So especially when it comes to the higher time frames, price mostly reacts on those time frames. So there was another rejectional level over here. So anytime, so you can see when price was over here, since there was clean zone, okay, since there was no support and resistance over here, you see how swift price moved through these zones. You see how swift price moves through these zones. Okay, so it's the same thing that can happen to over here. If price break out from this side, price is going to move swiftly to what? Very fast to this level. So you wait for a pullback. Okay, you wait for a pullback, then we take the continuation of the trend. I think that's the best way to go for it. So currently price, all the time frame, most of the pairs are just trending up. Okay, all the pairs are trending up. They are all trending up. Okay, so as I said, USD card, we might get the daily time frame to make that top wick. Okay, the daily time frame can make the top wick, or if it breaks, if it pulls back. Okay, if you get a pullback, that is the point we can enter the trade. So we are expecting price to just make a pullback. Okay, if it makes the pullback, then we can enter. So just please, which currency is this? Just join in this. Which currency? It's not currency pair. So this is USD card. That's the currency pair. So as I'm saying, you're expecting price to pull back, but during the New York session, you are going to be having a high impact news too as well. So PPI. So PPI, it's mostly like an inflation. So producer price index. Okay, so it's also an inflation data. So what they will be expecting is what the cost PPI, they're expecting highest numbers. Okay, so if inflation is high, so it is good. So maybe the dollar too is as well going to be strong at this point, because they are expecting, when it comes to the core PPI, they are expecting 0.3 as compared to the previous month, which was 0.0. So that means what? They are expecting higher numbers. So if they are expecting higher numbers, that means I understand that it's an inflation data. So if inflation is high, it is going to what? The interest rate is going to increase, and if interest rate increase, people will love to what? Invest in such an economy. So the currency is going to appreciate. So the dollar might gain strength when the interest rate gets released. The dollar might get strength, and at the same time, so mostly when I see mix of news events like this, I normally avoid. I don't like that, because, and at the same time, we are going to be having unemployment claims, and unemployment claim is what they are expecting, low numbers. Okay, so you see, this is just contradicting, the news are contradicting each other. So unemployment claims is what? Lower numbers. So if unemployment claims are very low, okay, if the numbers are very low, that means what? Less people were unemployed. Okay, less people were unemployed, so that means the currency too is as well going to appreciate in value. Okay, so I think it doesn't contradict, the alliance. The unemployment claims is the same numbers. Okay, is the same thing as compared to the unemployment claim. They are expecting the dollar to appreciate in value, and core PPI to the PPI data too, they are expecting dollar to appreciate in value. So maybe during the news events you are released, you are going to be seeing appreciation in what? The dollar. Okay, the dollar might appreciate in value, it might increase in value. Okay, because unemployment claims, they are expecting less people to be honest. So if less people are unemployed, that means the country is performing well. Their GDP is also going to increase in value. Their GDP is going to what? To increase. Okay, so they are expecting more people to less people to be unemployed, so it is good for the country. And if it is good for the country, the currency is going to appreciate in value. So core PPI too, they're expecting higher numbers, so interest rate is going to increase, so the currency is as well going to appreciate. So PPI is going to appreciate the dollar. Unemployment claims too is also going to appreciate the dollar. So this data, these two data are in line, so I'm expecting the dollar to be strong. Okay, so the same way yesterday as we did the analysis, I noticed that so it's the same thing that I'm expecting this one. So maybe if you are trading it with USD card, I'm expecting USD card to what? Move up. If we are trading it with during the, what do you call it, the New York session, I'm expecting the pound dollar to what? Fall like this. Okay, because we are pairing it with what? The pound. So I'm expecting USD card to also what? Rise in value, or like I'm expecting USD card to what? Move up. When it comes to USD CHF, I'm expecting USD CHF to also move up, because the dollar is going to be very strong. And when it comes to gold, I'm expecting gold to also what? To fall. Okay, because the dollar is going to be strong, and any pair that you are going to pair it with the dollar, we're expecting it to what? Depreciate in value. So that's what I'll be expecting during the what? The New York session, for the various news or the various data to be released. So that's what I'll be expecting. Okay, when it comes to the pound dollar, since you are not pairing it with the dollar, I don't know how it's going to move like, but it's still going to be having an impact. There's going to be an impact on what? Those currency pairs as well. All right, so if you have any question, kindly drop it before I will leave. There's no trade for us to take. The market is just moving up and down. No trade opportunity on USD CHF. No trade opportunity on GBP USD for us to take. So gold was something that I would love to to go for. When it moves up to this side, it moves down to this side, I'm waiting for price to what, fall to this side. This is what I would love to. So as I'm saying, I'm waiting for price to fall doesn't mean I'm going to take this sell. Okay, this is a counter trend because I'm waiting for the overall direction of the market, which is what, an uptrend. This is something that I would love to go for. Okay, so as I've drawn it over here, this is what I would love to go in for on gold. I would love price to pull back. Okay, price to pull back. So if price pulls back over here, okay, so this one, maybe if it's close around 8 o'clock, so we're having few seconds for the candle to close. If it's close around 8 o'clock, okay, if this candle close around 8, the next candle 9, so maybe it will be around. So you have to know the time. You don't have to be glued to the chart. Know the time that the candle close, so that you will come to the chart exactly that time. By you watching it 247, it normally affects your psychology or your mindset. Okay, so most of the times you have to know the timing. So this one, I'm just doing the timing. I noticed that prices might come to this level around when the H4 candle has closed. That will be the time that it might happen. Okay, that would be the time that maybe it might happen. So maybe I'll be watching the time after the stream. I'm just going to close my my desktop or my laptop. Then I'll come again maybe around 10 when the H4 candle is closed, and that's when I'm going to be having a look at this one, because I'm expecting two candles, H1 candle, two H1 candles to get to this side. Then I'll be looking for opportunity. So this one will close around 9. It depends. Okay, this one will close around 9, and the following one will continue around 10 o'clock. When the new H4 candle is about to close, then I think that one it's going to happen. Okay, so I'm not going to be moved by this move that is happening. Okay, I'm not going to be moved. This is the target I want to take my position. This is the level I would love to take my position. So if price hasn't gotten to this level, I'm not going to execute. Okay, so if you're having a question, let's drop. So how many trades have you taken this week? So this week, how many trades have you people taken, and how is the market treating you people? How is the market treating you? How is the market treating you guys? So tomorrow you are going to be having retail. So the Forex market is full of news events. The market is full of news events. So how many trades have you taken this week? Just type the number of trades you've taken this week. How many trades have you taken? Or so far, are you in profit this week, or you are in loss this week? So the whole of this month, I've not taken any trade. I've not executed any single trade the whole of this month. I've not executed any single trade the whole of this month. So last month I took like 3 trades or so, but this month the market has been consolidating, but it's still fine. It's still fine with currencies. The currencies that I'm trading is not giving me. I've not been seeing opportunities on them, and the ones that I saw this month too, I think I wasn't available this week. For instance, as I've been saying, I've been busy one or two things, so I've not been getting time for the charts like that. So maybe let's see. The week hasn't ended yet, so opportunity can come today or it can come tomorrow. So it's all about observing and following your rule or plan. Following your plan. But gold has been giving opportunities. Yesterday, for instance, there was a nice opportunity on gold. Gold has been the one that has been giving opportunities. Gold has been the one that has been giving opportunity because of how volatile it is. So I'm still looking at it. Still be watching it and see how it plays out. Okay, no question. If there was no question, any question? Okay, so yeah, so the market is not giving, there was no opportunity for us to take a trade this morning. So guys, if there was no question, then let's call it. So USD CHF USD card is trying to give the, so it has been ranging, the market has been tough. I think USD CHF has been the one that has been giving, like I think it started last week. So last week there was a news event over here, so this one too we couldn't take this one. There was a news event, and this week I think this one happened, but the market hasn't been, it has been very difficult. So within a month the market is going to give you like one or two opportunities, but you need to, it's very very difficult to get opportunity every day in the market. So that's how it works according to your plan. Very very difficult to get a trade opportunity. Okay, those who get opportunity are those who get opportunity every day, are those who don't have trading plan. They just execute left, right, center. Those are the people who don't have plan. If you have a trading plan, you don't execute trade just right, left, center. You just study the game because you have a plan. Okay. Okay. If there's no question, okay, so doing a recap of what I'm expecting, as I'm saying, I'm expecting USDC, GBP USD card to make a pullback. Okay, to make a pullback, then it will continue. So as I said, you see, as price got to that level, it has been rejected. If people are seeing it, so you see how powerful those levels are. So if you don't know how to identify those levels, you have to learn how to do it. So you see how price has gotten rejected, price has gotten rejected. So the same thing over here. So this pullback is kind of deep. Price is just making a deep pullback. So this one might just, so you see USD card, if you watch the market very well, you notice that price hasn't been trending like that. You get it? Price hasn't been trending like that. So anytime price is trending, it will just pull back. But you notice that it's just making some up and down moves. Not there's no clarity in this movement of price. There's no clarity in this movement of price, just making up and down, up and down. So I'm expecting, yeah, so I'm expecting price has gotten to the level that we plan of. Okay, and looking at the fundamentals too, if you look at the fundamentals, I'm expecting the dollar to be very strong during the New York session. So maybe it can just move up strongly. It can just move strongly to this side. So let's see how it goes. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. Yeah, so the thing is making a deep pullback, just making a deep pullback. So it's either going to get to this side. So when it breaks this one, then the trend has been invalidated. When it breaks this one, then the trend has been invalidated. So sometimes it's cool too. So you see, if you are trading a breakout and you took a sell over here when it broke this one, you see the drawdown you are going to be in now. You are going to be in a deep drawdown by now. So it's always good for you to know your stop loss level, so that you don't execute something that you are not willing to risk, like something that is going to go against you. Yeah, so maybe since this level, this is a daily time frame level, so maybe it can get rejected. This level can reject price from moving up, but we can't tell where price is going to go. So we just observe when it moves according to how we normally love to see price moving, then we execute. Other than that, you are still observing. You get it? You are still observing. So as I said, gold is what I'm be watching. Currencies are kind of boring these days. Trading currencies has become boring these days. I don't know. It has been consolidating. So gold is something that I'm watching. Gold is something that I'm watching. So when it comes to trading, trading is kind of very tough, especially if you don't have a plan. It's kind of very tough. So you need to know a plan, have a rule on every single step that you take. Wait for price to come to you. If price hasn't come to you, don't execute. If price hasn't come to you, don't execute. You get it? Don't execute. Don't execute. Okay, guys, thank you all for joining today's stream. If you have no question, if you have any question, you can DM me on my Instagram. Okay, you can DM me on Instagram or on WhatsApp. All right, so see you guys Monday. If you want to leverage your account, make sure you are taking a trade. All right, so see you all same time Monday. Bye.